What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kings and Gaming, a discussion with black men in the gaming community. Thank you all for coming through here. It's been a long time coming, and we're finally here. Finally got here. We have an amazing panel. We're going to get into some nice discussions. We're going to talk about all of the things that we need to talk about. And we're going to take questions from the audience and from social media. And we're going to have fun doing it all, you know? So without further ado, let's get into the panel. Let's get into the good stuff, the stuff of why we're here. So introduce him first. He is the reason why we have music. He is the reason why, we have fun. He is I guess you can say you're way better than me at Warzone. So it's Motifdamasta. Tell the people about yourself and, anything you want them to know about you.
All right. Yo. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Motifdamasta, A.K.A Tifu, A.K.A D Mills as well. Well, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised. I'm a variety streamer. I stream different games, Call of Duty, Apex, 2K, just whatever I feel like playing at the moment. I was basically known for streaming 2K in the past. So I'm kind of getting back to that. Currently married, father of three, and I'm also a full-time musician, producer, singer, songwriter. I've been a professional musician for about the past, excuse me, 14, 15 years, which means that I do it for a living. So, glad to be here and glad to see how this plays out. So you guys enjoy the podcast.
All right. And next up, uh, me and him kind of met while we were both playing Apex Legends on each other's respective streams, and he always comes in and wants me to drop 10 kills on a dub. It's so it's the one and only BigTon.
What's going on? I am BigTon 423. You can just call me Ton. I'm a variety streamer, father of three. I'm from Tennessee. Play a lot of different games. Division, Rainbow Six, Road Company, GTA, Fortnite, Dead by Daylight, and Apex, and Call of Duty as well. Okay gameplay, but a lot of jokes. You know, I mean, every now and again you'll have like great gameplay, but for the most part it's alright. But lots of laughs.
All right.
It's all this introduction.
And the other panel member that we have is the great and amazing. Y'all know him. He's out here doing everything in the wrestling community as well as other great and amazing games. It's the one and only PushplaytheDJ.
What's going on,
To
everybody?
me,
PushplaytheDJ. Some people call me Push. Some people call me DJ. It's fine by me. Born in LA, raised in Miami, currently living in the DMV. No kids. IT professional during the day, content creator all the time. I'm a variety streamer. I do a lot of wrestling commentary, analysis, sports talk, and a ton of gaming. Decent gameplay. Highlights here and there, but overall entertaining. And as always, just happy to be a pillar and someone to obtain knowledge and to give knowledge in the community.
All right. And I will be your host for the day, Greensp. I pretty much do everything from streaming to video content to just trying to be the best gaming influencer I can be. I don't have any kids. I am getting married pretty soon. And my whole focus is just enjoying the gaming community and making it the best that I possibly can while I'm on this earth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so now that we got these introductions, I wanted to kind of do some icebreakers for people that's listening and people that's watching to kind of get to know us a little bit better. So I got some questions. You guys can answer them in any order that you wish to answer them in. But let's first get to the first question. Let's start with, what game are you the worst at and why?
Fortnite. That's why I don't play it. I'm not. I like FPS games, but the fact that FPS with a building concept, that's just not my wave. I'm not Bob the Builder. I'm just trying to be. I'm trying to be Push the Shooter, and you know, all of those who can play Fortnite, more power to them. But nah, that's just not my thing.
All right. How about you, BigTon or Motif?
Same here, Fortnite. I can't build to save my life. So yeah, can't do it.
All right.
Well, I think we got a unanimous consensus here because I was definitely going to say Fortnite. As much as I've tried in the past, as far as shooting and all that, I can do that. And building was all right, but you got people out here building skyscrapers and towers and all kind of forts, and I couldn't compete against that. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna leave Fortnite alone. So yeah, I had to go with Fortnite too.
Okay. I think I'm okay at Fortnite. I'm not good, like I'm not great, but I'm okay. I would say mine's is Sims. I don't have the patience.
Oh, I can definitely enjoy The Sims. The Sims is kind of relaxing, just setting up people's lives the way it is. It's just with Fortnite, just like when I'm looking more up in how much in awe at how quick people be building the skyscrapers, and then I'm just setting myself up to die. So, but Sims, I can definitely enjoy The Sims. Sims is peaceful.
I mean, Sims is peaceful, and I could definitely play it. It's just like some people, they stick with it for months and months and months. I can play that maybe one day and I'm done. Like, I'll catch it at another time. I can't play it that long. I'm not patient. All right. But what is one game that you are ashamed to say that you like?
I'll go first on this one. I know I might get some slack for this one, because me personally, I wouldn't play a game like this because it's not my style. But I actually like to watch people play Animal Crossing. I've watched, Pinky, you, and Jazzy Monk, which is another good streaming buddy of mine. I've watched, people play Animal Crossing, and it's actually cool to watch. But it's not the type of game that I would personally play. But yeah, I would say Animal Crossing.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I don't think I personally have a game that I'm ashamed of playing, because I mean I can enjoy a whole bunch of like different types of games. I mean I can play Tetris for hours. I play Animal Crossing. Um, I mean I if I can go back, I think one game that I enjoyed playing was Cooking Mama on the DS, because I think it was pretty fun personally. But other than that, I don't feel ashamed of any games that I decide to play.
Okay. How about you, Ty? Oh, you might be dealing with something real quick. I think mine.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, you good? Go ahead.
I think mine is it's a mobile game, but Angry Birds. Not even gonna lie, Angry Birds. I'll play that game for hours, just through the day, just playing it. I don't know. Don't look at me no different though.
Look, I'm not even going front. Angry Birds set the trend back in the day. That was like the game. That was like the cult classic back
For
then.
real, man. That's hey man, hey, Angry Birds, man. That game you talking about a game that make you angry for real,
Hmm.
especially when it's man. I be wanting to throw my phone sometimes.
If I'm correct, that's like the only mobile game that actually built so much popularity that it got what, 3 movies, 2 or 3. I can't think of any other mobile game that
I think it's
actually got
two.
movies made off of it.
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So I mean, they did their thing. I don't think I'm ashamed of any game. I think I'm ashamed that I don't play it. Uh, uh, um, is I don't play. I just recently got a Nintendo Switch, and everybody's been telling me I should buy like all the classic games. And I think I'm ashamed that I don't like Super Smash Brothers because everybody seems
What?
to love it. I just don't like it. I'm
Oh
fine.
my god.
I have a love-hate relationship with Super Smash Brothers. Um, I love the game. I just hate.
Wow.
I love the game. I just hate the toxicity that comes out of the game.
I, I
Wait
try.
a minute.
You know, because I feel like no, like honestly, I feel like you could put Super Smash Brothers into that same realm of like playing Monopoly or playing Uno with your friends because I feel like it could start a fight at any given moment.
Exactly.
So true.
I
Especially Uno. Uno will start a bunch of fights.
Yep.
Yeah, Super Smash was my game, man. Oh my! I would get Captain Falcon and let you have it, bro. Straight up,
look.
Captain Falcon, man, it'd be over with. I'm telling you.
I bought it. It was for the longest time. It was like the only game that I had for the Switch, and I have not picked it up since I bought Animal Crossing. To be quite honest with you, and I don't even play Animal Crossing like that. I just ever since I got Animal Crossing, I always have something else to play on the Switch.
Yeah, I kind of left my Animal Crossing island like kind of deserted. I'm pretty sure I got like little roaches and stuff in the house I got to clean up
Yeah,
eventually because that does happen. Just to let you know.
yeah. I saw one roach in it the other day when I went to go check. I was like, oh, okay, this is a thing. All right, cool. But I got Super Mario 3D World, so I'm cool. Like, it's all right. All right, next question for the get to know you session. Uh, what made you dive deeper into the gaming community than you already were? Like, what made you want to get do more than just play video games?
That's an easy one for me, actually. It was my kids that actually got me into streaming. Um, my older two sons, they came to me and they was like, you know, because I kept seeing them watching somebody on the phone. I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, I'm watching a stream. Like, what kind of stream are you watching? Oh, this guy's playing a video game. I was like, dude, what? You know, I didn't know anything about it, and they was telling me for weeks, you need to do it because you're good at video games and you're funny. And so I told them I'd look into it, and I started doing it. That's how I got started.
Okay.
I think for me, I used it as a way to get out of just to get out of depression and kind of like homesickness with with my friends because I moved to a new area by myself and um when you have a dark cloud like looming over your head and um you start having a lot of doubts, you just try to find things that help you get out the way. And my best friend told me about streaming. I got into it, and it was definitely something that kind of reignited the passion for gaming for me as well. And then just looking into it much in depth a lot more and seeing like the possibilities of like making it a career and looking at jobs in the industry and um trying to have it relate to the experience that I currently have, you know, in my field of IT and marketing, it just opened up a whole different pipeline of opportunities.
Okay.
I would say I would sometimes watch people on Twitch in the past streaming video games, and I just see how much fun they would have, and I felt like I could share my same excitement for video games on stream too, and I wasn't necessarily trying to make a career out of it. I just wanted to stream video game play, and then it kind of turned into streaming some of my gigs that I would have, on the music scene and things of that nature. And I just wanted to grow with share my passion for video games, share my passion for music, and that's about it. I mean, I really enjoy it. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay. I think personally for me, it was just I've always done stuff in the gaming community. Um, I used to do articles for like the local newspapers, and I ended up writing for a magazine for a little bit. High school newspaper, stuff like that. So I always had that passion for just being part of something bigger than myself, if that means anything. So when I got out of high school and I got the opportunities to do some of the stuff that I did, I always had that thirst for it. And then Miss Pinky 313 actually got me into streaming. She had been streaming for about 3 years at the time, and I had just recently moved back to Baltimore from Ohio, and she was just like, Green, you know a lot about video games and you love it. Why not stream? Why not become that content creator you wanted to be? So I just started, and I've been on that kick for the last 2 years. So I think that's it. All comes down to some deeper inner kind of feelings that you always wanted to do things like this and just be a part of the community and share with the community things that you learn and help out other people kind of find their same uh, relief, I guess, from the outside world. So, yeah. It seems like everybody has a different path coming to the gaming community, and we'll touch a little bit more into a lot of stuff as we go along this discussion. But we do have a very special sponsor. If you guys don't know, Real Ones Gaming is sponsored by Bath, Be About the Hustle. So let's take a 60-second break real quick so we can learn more about Bath, and then we'll be back and we'll start the actual panel discussions. All right? Kings and queens, hustlers, lend me your ears. Bath is here and is spreading the word every day. Pick up the gear that will show everyone you're all about the hustle, and while you're at it, read about the hustle of musicians, models, business owners, streamers, and more. Be about your hustle and get your Bath Urban Apparel at bathurbanapparel.com. Bath is an official sponsor of Greensp. All right, everybody. Welcome back. All right, now we're here for what you all came to see and hear. We have a lot of good questions, a lot of discussions that we need to have. So, without further ado, let's start off with the first topic. So, let's start off with the most important question. How are you feeling mentally, spiritually, and physically? We'll start with Motif.
Okay. How am I feeling? I'm feeling pretty decent. I can honestly say this past year, 2020, was one of the worst years of my life. Kind of went through quite a few things, and I'll get into it in a little detail. I'm currently recovering from foot surgery. I had an infection on my foot. Uh, it came from lymphedema and different things of that nature. So for a while, I haven't been able to bend my left leg at all because of the swelling and different things of that nature. I had to have surgery about a month ago. I'm currently home recovering from that. Being a full time musician, of course, I need all of my limbs so I can play, keyboards, Hammond B3 organ, different things of that nature. So I know Push was saying that he was going through a depression, and I was kind of going through that too during this time. And on top of that, not being able to do that, I lost my mom in October of last year to lung cancer. She was kind of fighting that, fighting some ailments that she was going through. She was in a nursing home, and uh, going through a lot of those things will definitely weigh you down, especially if you're the only person that's doing those things. That's you're trying to keep yourself together, trying to take care of your mom, still got a wife and kids, and still got to work, and still got to do this, and still got to do that. But I can say that I'm coming out of that space now, so I'm in a much better place mentally. Physically, I'm actually getting better day by day, and I can't wait to be fully restored so that I can go, back to normal, doing the things that I love to do, doing the things that I need to do. Um, as far as spiritually, I think I'm stronger than what I've ever been before because going through all of these things brought me closer to God, and going through all of these things made me realize how important it is for me to rely on Him. I can't say enough how how blessed I feel to go through all of those things that I've been through, and I can still function. My mind is still intact. I break down every now and then, because when you lose a parent, for those of you who can relate, when you lose a parent that you love, it's heartbreaking. So, but I can honestly say that now I'm in a much better space. Am I out of that dark cloud? Not quite yet. I'm still kind of going through it, but I'm getting stronger as I'm going through it because I know that I can't do it by myself, but I'm relying on God to help get me through. So I'm feeling pretty good. So, and I'm looking forward to getting better.
I could jump in now. I've how I'm feeling. I would say I'm currently in a good place. Um, and mostly I just want to say condolences on your loss, and I'm happy that you're recovering. Um, and mentally I have my trying times. I have I have days where I can feel like I'm on top of the world, and then I have days where um I don't want to do a thing. I just want to be to myself, and I just want to shut down. And it's it's an everyday battle, but I'm seeing um more uplifting days than you know than days where I just want to be completely shut down. um Spiritually, I feel that that's the strongest the strongest part of me, because um even through the times where dark clouds like to just loom, I can always sit back, and I can always like um meditate and have devotion, and just you know just continue to speak to God on just like ordering my steps, and letting me know like what has to be done. And um alongside of that spiritual support, I'm thankful for some of the support I have from my close friends, and my girlfriend, who's been one of the biggest support systems for me um in the past almost 3 years. So it's a constant struggle, but it's a struggle that I guess you could say I enjoy taking part of, because it helps me learn all about myself more, helps me learn to appreciate the good days and the bad days, because it helps shapes who I am, who I continue to be to this day. Um Physically, um my body feels all right, but it'll be better if I lose a couple pounds. So COVID is definitely taking its toll with that. But also it's a lot of lack of accountability on myself. So that's something that I've decided to try to do better on, and just trying to get back into what I deem as a healthier weight and shape for myself. Because I feel like I got a lot of years to live. I got a lot of years to live on this earth, and it's a lot of years for me to do a lot of things, and I don't want to shorten it due to my own my own decisions.
Okay. And how about you, Tom?
Me personally, well, first off, let me say, Motif, I'm sorry for your loss. I know exactly how you feel. I lost my mom back in 2014 to breast cancer. And I'm gonna just say, they say time heals. It doesn't really heal, but it just gets a little easier to understand and deal with, the loss of a parent. Um, there are days that you'll have a sound or a certain smell that will bring those memories back to you, and it just makes it hard to go through the day. I'm just saying, but I pray for you, brother. Um, Mentally, I'm in a good state right now. Um, everything is going real well. Still blessed to have a job, have a beautiful family. Um, Spiritually, I'm probably not where I should be. Um, but I'm working on trying to get back to being closer to God. Um, Physically, I'm right there with Push. I need to lose some weight. I'm working from home now, and once I get off work, I'm right in the game, and so I'm like at my desk several hours and not doing anything that I should be. So yeah, I definitely need to lose weight. But overall, man, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. And one of the reasons that I was looking through these questions and I was kind of thinking that this should be the very first question is because a lot of people don't realize, although they see our streams, they see the content that we make, it's a whole other part of us that people don't get to see. And I think this is that part, is that we go through things that are mentally breaking, and we know that mental can lead to physical damage, and that mental can also lead to spiritual damage as well. Um, and I think sometimes we don't have that support system that we probably should have, because we as men, we're raised to be strong and keep our emotions intact and not let it out so often. But the truth of the matter is we do need that support, and we do need to start supporting each other a little bit more. So I say all three. Anytime you just need somebody to talk to, I work from home, so I'm always home. If I'm not like in a meeting or something like that, I'm pretty much on Discord all the time. I think all of you have my email or phone number, so make sure you contact me or anything like that if you just need someone to talk to. I think that's very important for everybody to have. So
I just want to add that it's it's kind of funny how like God puts things together, because like just listening to like how Motif is like everything that he's going through with like the loss of his mom, and hearing Tun saying that he lost his mom, and I know most of y'all don't really know. I lost my mother at 9, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's God brings people together in all shapes and forms, man. And I'm glad we were able to actually sit down and actually have this panel discussion, because I felt like, regardless if I said it or not, like, each of you have inspired me in my journey of gaming, but also in just kind of handling my personal stuff and the way that I carry myself. I looked at all three of you and instantly became inspired. So, um, that was the main reason why I wanted you guys to be here to do this discussion, because I feel like a lot of people can learn a lot from you guys. So,
Can I jump in real quick, Green, if you don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let me say this to Ton. I'm praying for you as well, bro. You lost your mom. Uh, Push. I'm gonna say this to you. Uh, the best thing that I can tell you to do is when you get in that place, you feel like you can't depend on people, or people don't understand, or I know you said you just lost your mom, and I praying for you, and my sincerest condolences as well, because we understand how that feels, and we it'll never get it. That's something that we'll never get over. Uh, my mother meant everything to me. She was like my backbone, my rock. She taught me about life. She taught me about how to respect people, how to love people, and just remember who she was to you. Um, and always keep her in your hearts when you start having those down moments. Just remember the smile that she would give to you when she saw you, or just remember the good times that you guys had, because um, and I'm not trying to sound weird, but my mom still visits me. Like I said, it's been a little bit over 4 months,
mhm.
and sometimes I can still feel my mother's presence in my house. My mother lived with us for a time, and before she had to go to the nursing home for health reasons, and um, she's still with you, man. She's still there. She may not be there physically, but spiritually, she's still there. And when you get your weak moments, reach out and ask God to, just allow you to feel your mother's presence. It'll bring you a calm over your spirit. It'll give you peace. Because trust me, I'm still going through some things that I haven't spoken about because I don't feel that I need to. But just know that your mother's still there with you, man, and she's still watching over you. I'm sure she's very proud of what you are right now, what you're continuing to evolve to become.
Yeah.
And let me encourage you, man. Like Green said, man, if you need somebody to talk to, man, my door is open.
Yeah,
Ton, you too.
yeah,
Same here, bro.
I
Same here.
I appreciate that. It's yeah. I don't know if it got um so I lost my mother when I was 9 years old. So, and
Oh,
honestly, it doesn't really matter about like the age you lose a parent. It's
Right.
the fact of um you know trying to function without somebody who literally like who raised you, who birthed you. Like that's
mm-hmm.
that's the thing. I'm
Yeah.
35, and I lost my like I said, I lost my mother when I was 9, and not there are definitely days where I have reached I've achieved like a lot of accomplishments through my life, and the one thing in the back of my head is always the fact that I can't physically celebrate those with her, so it's like, and there's so many other things that I'm aspiring to achieve and accomplish, and it's just that you have that wish that dang, I could just, like celebrate this, or I could, like run and open the door and say like, hey, like mom, like this is what I just achieved and this is what I just accomplished. And my spiritual connection with her is strong. I thank God for that, and I feel like she, to this day, she plays such a vital role in the man that I've grown up to be, and the man that that tries to deliver on every single task that's in front of me. So um, and even like I said, even to this day, even me being 35, and I still break down into tears, because I can't physically celebrate things with her. Like, I'm also extending myself to you all. Like, please, like, reach out to me if you need to. And I mean that.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So, yeah. Once again, my sympathy goes out to each and every one of you gentlemen. And like y'all said, and I'll repeat it, if y'all need anything, y'all need just someone to talk to, I'm always available. So, all right. So, next question that I have for you gentlemen is, how would you define growing up a black man in America?
One of y'all can go first. I'll wait on this one. Y'all go ahead.
I think for me, um, I would say, because being of Haitian descent, and growing up in a Caribbean household, um, a lot of things weren't shown to me as much, and it's and it was, I guess, primarily in fact of um just the way that I was raised. It took some time for me to try to learn and understand how things were, I guess, being viewed, outside of that sheltered environment. um but um I would personally say, my definition is um somebody who is always looked at, to do wrong, but has so much fire and passion to be great that, regardless of whatever obstacles are set in front of us, we're going to continue to fight. And that's going to happen regardless of how bruised, how tired, and how bloody our bodies will become.
Okay. All right.
Um, for me, it is a little different. I was born here in Tennessee, down here in the South. So growing up, I was seeing Confederate flags flying everywhere. Experienced some racism at a young age. Um, you know, and experienced it at a young age, and like the first time I experienced it, I didn't know how to react. I was actually playing football, and a lady called me, the N word with the hard R. I didn't know how to react. I actually just walked off the field, and my coach was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Coach, I don't know if I should be mad and hit this lady or what, but this is what happened." You know, so experiencing that, and then growing up playing sports, and you have other team fans yelling at you throughout the game, and nobody says nothing. It kind of makes you numb to it, the racism. So like now I kind of just overlook it. Like it don't even bother me anymore, which is not good. You know, that instead of trying to teach and correct things, we just let it slide. You know, so growing up in America was different for me than I think a lot of other people, because we're, you know, I'm down here in the South and they love that Confederate flag down here.
Yeah, I've definitely had my fair share of you know, um, racial led incidents, living in Florida, and and it's it's crazy how how easy it was for just people just to you know react with that react in that type of manner. I personally feel that it's primarily aside from the hate that they had within themselves, it was just primarily to try to provoke something out of me, so they just have a reason to take advantage of a situation. I mean, I had a moment personally where um a Caucasian tried to run over me and my friend. We went out one night and we were trying to head back to our car, and the truck tried to like speed up on us, and we got out the way, and the truck like on purpose reversed back, and he meant this like, and he literally said, next time keep your monkey ass on the road so I could turn you into the roadkill that you are. And anger, I'm one who's very, very patient, and that was a day where I definitely just I took a rock and I like just tossed it at their car just out of just frustration. I've had a lot of other like incidents that I was able to keep my composure, but there was just something about that just took me over the top. And so it's like I guess like I'm at that point where it's like I'm kind of numb. I'm kind of numb to it. Because it's like now the majority of the time I already know it's like unless you're saying it to my face, um, if you're typing it on like a computer, if you're behind something and you're saying it, um, it doesn't really matter. If you're in my face and you're saying it, then I'm gonna be much more alert because you might have some type of intent to attack.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, that's actually. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Well, the reason why I asked this question is actually on a deeper level because this question was actually an essay question for one of my scholarship. I'm 32 now, but when I was applying for school, um, one of the things that one of our teachers and Mama Darkmorn, who's in the chat, she knows what I'm talking about. His name was Mr. Thomas. He would encourage us to branch out and kind of look at different schools that we weren't really looking at. And one of the things that he presented to me was a scholarship for black men. And the question was, how would you define growing up as a black man in America? And I ended up not going for that scholarship simply because I didn't know how to define it. Because at the time I was going through so much stuff, I couldn't get a consensus because I felt like everything was different. Everything, like the way that I was being treated growing up and the difficult kind of situations that I was going on in my personal life. Something similar to you guys, like my mom, she's been fighting cancer since I was like 10 and I'm 32 now. So, and she had MS and things like that. And then me growing up, I wasn't like into the normal stuff that all the other kids were into, or at least the black guys were into. So I didn't know how to answer that question. And even to this day, I kind of don't know how to answer it, or I have the definition in my head, but I don't know how to portray it. So I think it's very interesting how everyone answered this question. And I think it helps even myself to kind of realize my own answer for this question as well. So that's basically why I asked that question.
Um, well, my answer would be more so towards um, police. Like I said, I'm born and raised in Chicago, and police run rampant up here. It's just a lot of a lot of us getting pulled over, driving while black, things of that nature. There's been a couple instances where I've been pulled over. It could be something like real minor, like the light that illuminates your license plate, your back license plate. That like a little light like that might be out, and they'll pull you over for that, and then they'll try to find things wrong. Like, have you ever been to Alaska before? Have you been here before? Because your name is popping up here and there. They'll try to pin stuff on you just because of the melanin in your skin. I actually got arrested one time because they accused me of something that I had nothing to do with because my name was similar to the person that they were looking for. Now, it didn't match. It was similar. I mean, they handcuffed me. They didn't take me into like jail or nothing, but they detained me for a while. But I had I bond, thank God, and I actually had to file a complaint against the department. So just because being an African American male, um, I was driving a decent Blazer like back then in 2003 Chevy Blazer back then, and the back windows were automatically tinted. That's how it came. So sometimes they pull you over because of that, and it's hard, especially growing up in a big city. It's like you can't drive nothing nice. You can't even just be listening to your music peacefully. You just drive past, and they just stop you just because of how dark your skin is, and it's stupid. And unfortunately, that's the world that we still live in today. Things are not getting easier.
That's real.
Yeah, real. I've been pulled over for a seatbelt, not wearing a seatbelt, man, and they want to search my car, search me, and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've been pulled over for tents being dark, and I mean they pulled it over with guns drawn, telling me to pull down, like roll down my back window just to see if to see if somebody's there, and I'm like I'm in the car by myself. Um, I've been pulled over because they they heard they heard about a disturbance somewhere else, and um they saw three black guys in the car, and it was like, yeah, we just wanted to pull you over to see if you guys can do something about that. And then from there they'll ask about if I had any bombs or anything. I remember that happened because of that was like right around the time of in Florida we had this thing called the Liberty City Seven, which was like a seven black men that I guess were allegedly supposed to be doing like some type of terror attack. So they were asking, if it was cars with black men, and they were asking if they had bombs in their cars, things like that. And I remember one time me and my two of my friends, we got pulled over, and they were searching the car. They had us out in an open gas station, and then police got another call, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are lucky that we didn't find anything, because we definitely wanted to take y'all in." And it was like what's really your intention,
Yeah. Mm. Well,
That's crazy.
I think the only time my parents were always like kind of sheltering me per se, but at 18, once you turn as an adult, you just want to go crazy. So I remember this was 2008, so I was like 20, and I had just got a brand new 2008 Honda Sonata, and I still remember the number of times I got pulled over in that car just because it was a brand new car and I was in it. And I remember having that car, I got pulled over a number of 20 times just because I was in the car. And they could not believe that someone young and black was driving the car. Got to the point where my mom had to actually beg me to get rid of it. So it happens. A lot of people don't know how often it happens, but it happens a lot. But so that seems like we got a good definition of it. So let's get a little bit deeper into it and ask the question. Now that we know what it is like to be a black man in America, do you feel that you can be yourself? And by yourself, I mean your essential and true self.
Absolutely. I'm going to always uh, always be who I am, regardless of who doesn't like it, or my intention is never to offend anyone or make anybody feel uncomfortable. But at the same token, me being who I am is just being what it is. And I think that authenticity as a person is important, because if you try to change who you are to fit certain demographics, or to fit certain types of people or certain situations or whatever, then you're not being real. And you should always be who you are. Some people gonna love you for it, and some people won't. But being true to yourself is being true, all the way around. The truth to set you free. So I definitely am always going to be silly and try to have fun and playful, because that's who I am. But at the same token, I know when to be serious and when to take care of business, and when playtime is over. Um, but yeah, I think you should always be yourself. Don't change for anybody. Change only when it's deemed necessary for you to grow and evolve to make you a better person. But don't change to fit other people, because then you're not being who you are.
Okay.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I feel that yeah, I feel that I can definitely be my essential and true self. I would I would say I consider myself to be like like an ambivert. I'm like a half extroverted, half introverted type of person. And I mean, I'm the type of person that I mean, I could be real goofy, and I can be the life of the party, and then next I could be I can be the biggest homebody, then biggest homebody in the world. But it within all of that, I know that I know that I have I'm real sensitive about certain things. I'm real empathetic. I mean, like I care about a lot of people and the people that are close to me. But within that, like I say, I try to stay as true to my values, as one could. Um, I value people's opinions, but I will never um change myself because of the opinions of others. Um, I can respect a person's opinion, and I can look into it and see how it can better myself, but I would never just like completely change myself for the appeasement of somebody else. It's like if you can't accept me and appreciate me as I am, then you know I can I can just appreciate the knowledge that you gave me. And if that chapter decides to end, then it will end. um I always say that there's there's beauty in the journey, and that um regardless of a situation, good or bad, it's always something that you can learn from and that you can grow and help continue to mold yourself as a person, because um your essential and true self is something that continues to evolve every single day. There's always going to be something that you know that you might surprise yourself with, that you didn't like you something that can come around that you know that can trigger a different feeling inside of you, and then that leads to something that you want to learn more about. And I feel that with myself, that i've I've definitely had a whole bunch of chapters in like learning and appreciating who I am, um you know to this very point.
Okay.
Me, yeah, definitely, definitely can feel that I'm my true antisocial self because at the end of the day, I gotta look myself in the mirror, and if I'm out faking it, you know, you're not. It's not real. It's not authentic. Like, and you got to deal with that. So, and I ain't got time to try to appeasing everybody. At the end of the day, it's about me and how I feel about myself. So I'm gonna be me regardless of who's around. You know, yeah, I may be the big jokester in the room, but I'm also gonna read the room. If it's not the place for it, then I'll sit back and I'll be, chill. But I'm gonna be me throughout the day, no matter what.
Okay. I'm pretty much new to this. Meaning, I think I just within the last couple years, of course, but within the last couple years, I've just now started to actually be comfortable with showing myself. Only because that's just my fault. It's no one else's fault. It's just you kind of look at the way things go, and you want to shelter yourself. And I've always been that kind of like shy kid where I didn't want to be around people. I didn't like people. So to now be able to show myself and stuff like that, that's new to me, or fairly new to me. But as I am now, I feel the same way you guys do, where it's like I have to look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, why be ashamed of who I am? Let me just show that no matter what I do. So, yeah, all that stuff is kind of new to me. But since we on that point, for people who might have a difficult time with being themselves, why do you think it's so difficult for Black American men to be themselves and remain who they truly are? Anybody?
Um, well, the reason being, well, I think the reason being is because we are. When I say we, I'm saying black men. We're stereotyped to be a certain way. You know, a lot of times people portray us we're thugs and we're criminals. We're all drug dealers, or we're all athletes. We all play basketball, or we're all good at music, or it's always something that we're categorized. Some of us are doctors and lawyers and biochemists, and some of us are very successful at other things other than sports and other than music, and other than you know being rappers, and just things that we're stereotyped as being. We're stereotyped as being deadbeat fathers, and things of that nature. And I've been a father for almost 14 years, and I've been here the whole time. No matter what happens, with me and relationship wise or whatever, I'm gonna be a father to my children. That's without question, and that's non-negotiable. But a lot of times we are put in boxes, because we're black men in America or wherever we are, and it's unfair, but it's a sad reality. It's a sad truth. Um, but still, regardless of what people think of us or say, we still have to be examples, and we still have to go against the negative connotations to let people know, hey, yes, I'm a black brilliant man, and I do a multitude of things. I'm good at this. I'm good at that. I'm good at this. I'm a great father. I'm a great husband to my wife. I'm this. Just continue to be that positive, uh, 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 that positive man, black man, that people may think that we're not.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally hate the the vast amounts of negative connotations that black men get when it comes to what they're what they are, you know, like being represented or generalized as. It, you know, it's frustrating because when you when you grow up and you see so many black men doing prominent things, um you know, just like how Motif was saying, like so many who are, you know, lawyers, doctors, engineers, you know, judges, being, you know, being in places where um the consensus is that that they shouldn't even, you know, be in these areas or be in these parts. You know, it's pretty disappointing. It's kind of it's real sad. You know, the fact that, you know, we get associated with, you know, only being, you know, athletes or only being rappers. I mean, yeah, I was in the music space for over 15 years. I was DJing at clubs, you know, um, back in the South, and just even with just me, you know, me and my passion for music, just, you know, negative connotations would just loom, and it's like, you know, you would only hope that people would just really, like, you know, get to know like a person, you know, before the generalizations, you know, before, like, you know, before the, like, the negative remarks starts to pile up. I know a lot of great fathers, you know, I know a lot of great fathers who, you know, will sacrifice everything, you know, just to ensure that their child is, um you know, in the best position possible. and and the child will, you know, and the child will never know that, you know, like their father is, you know, probably behind on certain things because they want to ensure that, you know, they're getting the best life possible, you know. So like, it, you know, it gets frustrating, you know, to just see the only things that get highlighted when it comes to, you know, comes to black men is only like the negative things, and that we gotta scratch and claw and, like, you know, dig like through so much dirt and nonsense to like really see the real, you know, diamonds that shine, you know, amongst black men in America.
Mm. Okay.
Hey, they pretty much covered everything. I really don't have anything to add to that, you know. But I mean, you know, like they said, as a black man, you're either known for sports or you're known for music. You know, they don't want to see us as anything else, or drug dealers. You know, just like, for example, when LeBron was speaking out on things, and the lady told him shut up and just dribble. You know, why is he not allowed to use his platform to speak out, just like you would? But you only want him to play ball. Like, you only want him to do this. You know what I mean? And it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sad world. It's sad. You know, when we went out for, you know, Black Lives Matter rallies and protests, we was having peaceful protests, but we were all being called thugs. But January 6th happened, and they stormed the Capitol, and they're being destructive. None of them were called thugs. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair for us to be called thugs when we're actually being peaceful, but y'all going in to the Capitol building and destroying it, but y'all not called thugs. Like, y'all are being more thugs than we are. But because we're black, it's automatically negative.
Yeah. Well, you guys already kind of spoke on it a little bit, but maybe we can speak on it a little bit in more detail. But first, I kind of want to read these two statistics that I thought was very interesting. We all know about representation and outside of the gaming community, but just to give you two small, very small points in the gaming community, and this is from TechCrunch.com, a 2009 study that analyzed 150 of the most popular titles. Black characters comprised 10.7% of characters, roughly on parity with the then most recent census data that 12.3% of Americans are black, and only 2.7% of characters with Latinx, relative to 12.5% representation in the U.S. population. But the thing is that Professor Dimitri Williams, who's a professor at the University of Southern California and the lead author of the study, says that black representation is even lower if you only look at primary characters, and that in any case, athletes in sports games account for most of the black characters in those games. The other statistic that I saw was the International Game Developers Association found in the 2019 edition of its annual survey that among game developers worldwide, 81% was identified as white, Caucasian, and European, 7% as Hispanic and Latinx, and 2% identify as black, African American, African, or Afro-Caribbean. So with that being said, and like I said, you guys kind of already touched on it majorly. My next question to you, gentlemen, is how do you feel about the current representation of black men in the gaming community?
Definitely need more representation other than sports games. But in order to do that, we got to get our black people, not just men, women too, as developers, developing games. That way we can have more say so into what goes on in these games.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly agree. I feel like with this particular topic, it's not it's not just black men, it's black people in general. Um, we have so many talented people in this industry that are either have yet to be discovered, are slowly being discovered, or are being like held back from just different situations. And it's to the point where that recognition, the recognition needs to happen, and the understanding of like representation like needs to be of major importance to a lot of these like companies and and the industry in total, like as a whole. I kid you not, I remember when I first heard about Baptiste in Overwatch, and you know like him being a black character, and then him being a black character that was Haitian, and actually like hearing him like speak proper like Creole, Haitian Creole, was like, that was a instant turning point for me to getting a game, and saying, okay, like, this is a character that I would love to use because he represents me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, we have the sports games, we have the Maddens, we have the NBAs, and that's cool, but we're so much more than just sports, and then on top of that, we're so much more than just being, characters that have to have a violent, background behind them. I mean, you can have us as lead characters, in other games. You can have us be like prominent, characters, in like in the mystery games. It's good to have representation on your dev teams and on your community relations teams and your marketing teams, because I feel like there's just a major disconnect. And I will say it's slowly starting to get better, but there's still so much work to do.
Well, as a follow-up question, I'm asking this because I seriously can't think of any. Can you guys name a game where there's a young black man, young black woman on the same kind of basis as like a Mario or that new PS5 game that's coming out? I want to say it's called Karina or something like that. Like an adventure, but very cute, very fun, that anyone can just pick up and play. Can you think of any game like that starring a African American or just in general black star character?
Not off the
A single one.
yeah,
Not
not off the top of my head. I mean, because if it's not a character that initially, like, I guess if it's not a character that is not already being advertised as black, it's usually a creature or an animal in some sort. But I mean, like I said, the only game that I've seen that kind of has a black representation, yes, while violent in a way, but they're the primary character, is the game that's coming out called Deathloop.
Yeah. I mean, I could think of a lot of shooter games starring a black role, but nothing adventurous like Mario. For instance, Mario is like a very 2D, 3D kind of game where the most violence that happens is he jumps on some heads and that's pretty much it. I can't think of any other game that's kind of like that. Dundar is probably the only game that I could think of that's non-violent, starring a black character, that I can think of off the top of my head anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something we need to change, because if it ain't sports, it's something violent.
It's violent, yeah.
So I think that's definitely, like, I understand that they're putting more characters and turning them, into African American or Haitian. For instance, Mafia 3, they did a very good job with that one. Mm-hmm. I understand they're doing that, but maybe the representation is still not being helped, because we're still doing either violent or sports.
Right.
Like when we think about the greatest black characters in video game history, we always think of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Mm-hmm.
Or in this generation, Grand Theft Auto 5 with Franklin.
Yep.
Mafia 3. And the character from Saints Row, yeah. Gears of War. Like, we always think of those violent characters. But there's like small, cute, cuddly characters.
Yeah, even if you want to go back to, Jax from Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's where the start of representation should begin. Is let's stop putting them in that category. Let's start putting ourselves in better categories that doesn't deal with violence, that doesn't deal with sports, but something that just deals with exploration and education and doing things like that. But yeah, I just thought those 2 points was very interesting, especially the part where, even though 12.3% of Americans are black, only 10.7% of characters in video games are black, and you can lower that even more when you take out the sports games.
Right.
So, all right, let's go on to the next one. Any examples, and you guys gave out some examples earlier, but any examples of how you have experienced racism in the gaming community How did you deal with it, and how did you want to deal with it?
Um, well, I haven't experienced a whole lot in the gaming community. Thank God for that. But I would be streaming, especially back in the day when I was doing like the 2K streams, and I would have like maybe 25, 30 people in the chat. Um, we'd be having fun, people requesting music and things of that nature. And then you'll get one person come in there, you know, all you monkeys do is play 2K and this and that, and just stuff like that. And when you first see stuff like that, you'd be like, "Whoa!" Well, first of all, why you coming at me in my stream like that? Um, but I would try to handle it as professional as possible. I would just let them know, well, first of all, this is not what this is about to be. You're not about to come in my stream, speaking to me that way and then using those terms in my stream. So if you want to enjoy the stream, I think you should change your vernacular, or you need to get lost. And if they, of course, if they don't listen to that, then I just drop the band hammer on them. Now, of course, the inner me want to go off, and just tell them how I really feel, because it's offensive. And I think that um, as a content creator, we, meaning us, black people in general, I think, this is my personal opinion, that we need to calm down using N word in our streams, because I don't use it in the streams. Have I said it before? Absolutely. But in the streams, or live, whether it's wherever you streaming at, I just think we shouldn't use it. I know it's been used as a form of endearment or street term or whatever, but I just think that we shouldn't use that word on stream, because only thing that we're really doing is we downplaying ourselves. That's just how I feel. It may not be meant in that intent, but when somebody that's not black, whatever, would say that word, then we get upset. But we say it to each other. You see what I'm saying? But that's just me though. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay.
I would say I've had so many different moments where I've experienced racism on my channel, and it's like I laugh about it now, because I don't give them the time of day. Uh, I've I've had so many people come into my stream, um, you know, watermelon eating gorilla, monkey, um, dropping the N word, um, just being rude and disrespectful. I just go ahead and I'll just drop the ban instantly. As soon as I see it, I drop the ban, I report, and just just have it happen like ASAP. I'll let Twitch handle it. And now it's to the point where my community, they shout out to the crib. They are quick to stomp somebody out whenever they get out of line. I would say the worst experience I've had was I was doing a stream and I had on I had Black Lives Matter in my caption, and somebody came and they did like a whole troll negative raid, and it was just flooding my chat with all lives matter, all lives matter, and we like you just take the precautions. I just put it on the sub mode, because it's like if you really trying to get your point across, go ahead and sub to the channel and say it, and then we're gonna ban you anyway. But still, but I don't like I said earlier, I don't how I want to deal with it. I don't even want to deal with it, because I know that it's whatever, it's keyboard courage. It's you're behind a computer, and people are like, oh well, you're not gonna find me, so they're gonna be bold in saying whatever they want to say. What surprises me, and what it's very sad to see is the amount of variations of the N word that people will come up with just to try to say it in a chat.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. I mean, like I will have people write, they'll write the N word and they'll like split it into like, two halves. And like they'll throw in number variations just so convert it into letters. Or like they will try to go into like such phonetic type of like phonetics and like ensuring syllables and ensuring that it sounds like the word that they're trying to get to get across, just to throw it in chat. And and then like even to the point where people want to like create usernames with like with racial slurs, like that is those are the things that like kind of bother me, because it's like I feel like those are things that should be handled on a platform like instantly. Like you shouldn't be able to write any type of word that like has any type of like racial like like any racial negative racial like connotation or even sexual connotations at all. But I mean, I know for a fact that people who are writing these things on like on my streams, if you was to see me face to face at like a convention or at or if we was to walk down the street and you was to know who I am, I know for a fact you're not gonna say that. And that's how I look at it.
True. Okay. Any other thoughts?
I mean, I'm right there with Push on that. Like, you can say all that over a computer, but I guarantee if we was face to face and you're standing in front of a man that's 6'7", you're not going to say what you said on that computer. You're not. No. And so they come in my chat, it's instant ban. There's been times where I may have had a bad day and somebody would say something in game chat or something. And my first reaction is I want to reach through that mic and just grab you by your throat and rip it out. But, I won't say nothing. I just let the game do the talking. Like I've experienced it so much in like Call of Duty, where they want to drop the N word and all kind of stuff. And there was one game I remember the dude was like, "Oh yeah, we got a monkey in the chat and this, that, and the third," and he's just going off just all kind of racial slurs. And I made it my point to only go after him that entire game. And I think I had like 25 kills, and I think he killed me like twice. But it was like my personal thing just to go at him that entire game.
I think everybody pretty much has similar experiences. Call of Duty, I think, is always the most toxic out of most games. It's you pretty much don't even have to say anything at this moment. When you get into the game, they just automatically start with the racism. No matter what you do, you can say nothing, and it just happens. So,
yep, you're so right.
You can just come into the room and instantly, are you black? Like, what does it difference does it make if I am or not? And even when you do start talking,
black. I would go into a lobby and like they'll just like they'll read your name. I bet you're one.
Yeah.
I bet you're N word. And you just sit there. You're like, okay, cool. This is what we got today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I keep my microphone muted.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. If I'm not streaming, my mic is off.
And I would say some games are actually pretty cool. Some game communities are really good. For instance, I'm actually very proud of the Apex community. And I would say that because they came out with that Black Lives Matter icon, or the Black History Month icon. And I have yet to experience just randomly, I have it on my characters. I've yet to experience just joining a group of randoms and them just going off wall yet from seeing it. So I'm actually very proud of the Apex community. Because had they have done that with Call of Duty, be a completely different story.
But when they released it, did you read all the comments under their tweet?
I try not to even read tweets under
God.
this stuff anymore. I try not to.
God, it was crazy.
Oh yeah,
there was people that was like, "Oh yeah, I'm never playing this game again. Thanks for ruining it." All kind of stuff.
Bye. You can go. You can go.
There's one less person I got to deal with. Maybe I can catch a couple dubs.
I mean, there's black characters on the game, so when you don't use Lifeline or Bangalore because they're black?
Probably not. There's some people that have that much hate in their heart that they will avoid using a character specifically because they're black.
Yep.
Yeah, that's stupid, y'all. Anyway,
it is. So never mind. Like the game is a very diverse game anyway. When you look at all of the characters, all of them are very diverse. So
very diverse.
Like if you play that game, I don't necessarily see how you can play it and be racist.
Right.
But then again, I don't see how you can do that with Call of Duty either. But they find a way. So I don't know.
Right.
But yeah. Yeah, I think you guys answered that very well, actually. So let's get into the last question that I have for the panel, which is, what is the hardest part about being in the gaming community?
I would say the hardest thing about being in the gaming community, for me, sometimes it's kind of hard for me to continue to be self-motivating because a lot of times, the games may not be going well, and you on stream and you try not to express your frustration to a certain degree. I mean, you're gonna rage a little bit, this and that. Sometimes it's like I just be wanting to cut the stream. I'm like, man, these games are not going well, or you feel like the game is cheating, or people are using, they're cheating aim bots or cheating with different types of controllers and this and that nature, and you don't want to too much express that too much on stream. But it's hard trying to be just self-motivated, just get on and just stream and just have a good time. And then sometimes when in the past I would find it hard to get that support from, like, I was a part of a gaming team that I won't mention, of course. They were cool, but toxic at the same time, starting beef with different people. And sometimes, you're guilty by association, even though you don't, you haven't done anything. So I kind of stayed to myself for a while and just did my own thing until I kind of ran into Miss Pinky, who I've been friends with for quite a while. And then I kind of, met everyone else with RealOnesGaming, and the rest is history. So, but I would say just pretty much just being self-motivated to get on the stream and different things of that nature because of just the game, just gaming itself can be a headache. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say the self motivation is it's definitely I would say a big one for me, and I would also just say is the I guess it's just the believing in myself that if I'm putting out content to the to the highest quality that's acceptable for me, just the amount of just the amount of time, effort, and in balance with everything, because I would basically say that I stream part-time, and having a full-time job, and having a life outside of gaming. It's like you're doing so much to put out content, but then sometimes you fight yourself with saying, all right, like, how much of that content is like actually like good quality content. So it's always trying to like, it's always about sitting back and realizing that you know, it's better to have like it's kind of weird. It's like it's where that quantity over quality kind of like kind of balances out, because you know you can have bad gaming content, but as long as you're like really entertaining and you're making the game like fun and enjoyable, it's still good content, and it's always better than having no content at all. But it's always, but I mean, like for me, it's like I guess it's just I guess the slight perfectionist on like just trying to be, you know, just trying to provide quality content that people could enjoy and people can find, you know, something that they can relate to, and just making sure that I'm doing, you know, I'm doing my part in the community to make somebody else's time enjoyable. I think that's just the hardest part. I mean, on top of just like always, you know, I would say staying up to date with like every new game, and bringing down your backlog, because I feel like the backlog is never ending.
Okay. All right. All right. Any other thoughts on this question?
Just really, just like they said, just being self-motivated to keep going. Like, there's been times where I felt like I had so much support in the stream, and then you do another stream and like you have no one there, and you feel like, you know, why is no one giving the same support that I give out? And it kind of brings you down to the point where you like, I don't even want to do this no more. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't tell you how many times like I've been like, you know what, I'm gonna just quit streaming. I'm gonna just play, you know. But I gotta remember, you know, I'm still trying to build my community, so there's gonna be downtimes, and to just keep pushing it out. But there's days like I don't even want to do it. Like, I'm just like, nah, I can't do it. But gotta, you know, kind of hype myself up, like, you know, you need to do this. People actually like what you're doing, so you need to keep doing it. And so it's just that inner battle that I be having some nights. But just staying motivated to keep going, sometimes it's like the hardest thing for me.
Yeah. And I could definitely understand where you're coming from, because I have a thing where if I wake up and I don't feel the question hit my head, should I just quit? Something's wrong. So I have that question in my head, like on a day-to-day basis, just kind of finding that motivation sometimes. All right. But yeah, those are all great answers. And we are actually going into the portion where the audience and social media actually has some stuff. So I want to get into those because I think there's a lot of great questions there. So let's get into the community wants to know. So let's start with Bridget's question because it was there. She said, how do you men balance family life and streaming life, and what tips do you give for scheduling streaming/gaming around your home and family life?
I think for me, I would say the majority of my streaming schedule is usually set in stone, because since I do wrestling commentary, I usually do events based off of the wrestling, like whatever the wrestling schedule is set in place. And but when it comes to like, I mean, I'll have moments when I want to do like other streams on other days, but like I said, I'm in a long-term relationship, and you know, I always I always want to ensure that I am giving I'm giving as much priority to to my girlfriend as I also do with my work and my content. So um whenever we try to do things, or um whenever I want to spend time with her or she wants to spend time with me, I usually put that over over the stream. And thankfully my community understands that I gotta give time. I gotta give time to the people that I love. So they're real understanding about that. And it's always gonna be about balance. It's always gonna be about, ensuring that the people that you care about are getting your time as well. And like I said, she's been really supportive of my content creation career, and very much thankful to have somebody that understands how much of a passion this is for me. um but I also try to ensure that and keep reminding her that she's a priority in my life, that you know if if she needs me, she'll definitely get me over the stream, because she's very much important to me.
Okay. How about you, Motif?
Um, I would definitely say being a husband and being a father is my main priority. Of course, over streaming. Uh, I don't have a set schedule because of everything that I'm kind of, going through physically in my life right now. Like I said, recovering from foot surgery and medications and IVs and different things, different appointments that I have to go to. Um, and still, trying to help my kids with, e-learning and things of that nature. And, there's so many different things going on. I really don't have a moment to say, okay, I'm going to be on at 12 o'clock this day or 3 o'clock this day. I just kind of stream when I can. Sometimes I may have time to stream, but I may not be feeling physically up to it. So it kind of varies. And then at the same token, I'm not around my streaming equipment, which is downstairs. I can't really go up and downstairs right now because of what I'm going through with my left foot. So I just kind of stream when I can. Um, there's been many times that I've wanted to stream and just haven't felt up to it. Body wasn't feeling right, or I just wasn't in a good headspace, or maybe it's just too loud in the house. Kids running around playing. Now, if I was downstairs in my area, then it would be different because it'd be quiet, more secluded and have my own space. But since I'm upstairs, where all the chaos is, then it's kind of like up for grabs. So I kind of stream when I can. Uh, I try to stream at least 3 times a week, but um, I'm working on streaming more than that. But like I said, because of everything that I'm going through, it's kind of difficult. I don't have a large community. I'm still growing it, but I know that the people that frequent my streams, they understand that, and they know what I'm dealing with. So they understand, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for have a family. My children love to watch me when I'm streaming, but of course they always want to talk. Daddy, are you on the black team, or what team are you? They always want to add the extra commentary and stuff like that. So a lot of times I have to find things for them to do, like go play on your iPad or something, so that I can concentrate on streaming. So yeah, but uh, family definitely over streaming. Priorities, and my health, of course, over streaming as well. So I stream when I can.
Okay. And how about you, Ton?
With me, like it was pretty easy why I stream at the time that I do, because I get up in the morning making sure with virtual learning, my kids are doing their schoolwork, and I'm at work at 1:30. I work from home, so the kids are still around me, uh, as long as well as my lady. Um, they come first before anything. Work is 10 o'clock, so usually they're getting into bed, for the next day. And when I get off, I got that 30-minute time period where I can get out of work mode and get into stream mode. So it kind of, that's why I stream at 10:30.
Okay. Personally for me, especially since I'm planning a wedding and all of that things. Well, first, my fiance is very accepting and she's always supportive and she gives me more than enough time to do what I need to do. We got into the relationship with me telling her what I wanted to do with streaming and things like that. So she already knew up front, you know, about the streaming thing. But I think because I do a full-time job, I normally get up, do that, and because I have to literally be sitting here at the computer the whole entire time, I try to cherish every little second I can with her. So even her moments when she'll come upstairs, she'll tell me how her job is going and stuff like that. Because she works downstairs, I work upstairs. I try to cherish every second of that. Sometimes I even just come up with weird questions just to make her stay a little bit longer. And then streaming usually starts immediately after I finish work. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm literally working from 10 to 10. And then I'll stay up with her and we'll talk for like a good hour. And then I'm right back in here doing some more work until about 1 in the morning. Then I go to sleep and do it all over again the next day. It's hard, but it's hard, but I think the important thing is that she's working with me. And we both have an understanding that the reason why I'm putting in the, you know, thousands of hours into it now is so that later I can do this on a full-time thing and have even more time to spend with her and, you know, just live that life we both wanted all along. So, I mean, you gotta kind of just make a balance. But definitely she's over streaming. She's definitely like my main priority rather than streaming. But yeah, that's a good question. And I have another question that was emailed to me by Super Fluffy Slippers. She actually did 4, but I'll read a couple. In today's society of cancel culture, can the panel speak about finding your voice as a black man and then as a gamer and how those paths can intersect? So I'll read that question again. In today's society of cancel culture, can the panel speak about finding your voice as a black man and then as a gamer and how those paths can intersect?
I'll let one of y'all go first.
I'm gonna pass that over to Tom real quick. I'm thinking about that. That's actually a really good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
I feel like the Jeopardy music should kick in.
I mean, I would say that I guess first off, I'm not the biggest fan of cancel culture, because I feel like the slightest slip up, you know, and regardless of, you know, how severe or how mild it is, you know, people want your head. Now there are certain things that I would say people that have done that have fully justified them to be canceled, and and I too have partaken, um, in canceling, some people, um, in my lifetime. But I feel that, um, when it comes to cancel culture, it's always going to be it's a slippery slope, because you are basing your thoughts and opinions with the thoughts and opinions of a majority, and as misconstrued, misinformed, or misunderstood, all those factors go into play as well. And um I mean, I think for myself, I think I've remained pretty consistent with how I am. I don't think I don't even think I can even recall a time where I have even like said or partaken in anything that has, you know, put me on the opposite spectrum of my character, even in gaming or, outside of that. I try my best to just remain as authentic as possible, and that whatever you get in terms of gaming, you're also going to get, like outside of that. um I have my moments where I will rant, I have my moments where I will pop off, but like as I said before, I'm also a very caring person. I'm also a person that, could be reached out to. I'm a person that can, you know provide you with advice from my personal experiences, and then however you decide to take that and move forward with your life is up to whoever receives the advice. So, you know I just really think that, cancel culture is kind of like that trend that is going to be here for a while, and then some other evolved form of, getting people out of, like, removing people from situations, or, canceling people will come forth. I think it's just a trend for the season.
Okay. Motif.
Um, I pretty much kind of agree with what Push was saying. Um, it's unfortunate that uh sometimes people will look for things to uh or should I say negative connotations or negative things. They will try to find things to cancel you out for. It could be like the smallest things. Um, there was one person, and of course I won't name names, who I was friends with another streamer at the time. We're no longer friends. Uh, and this young lady kind of like blasted him. She kind of accused him of clout chasing because she had clout at the time. Um, because I guess he played against her on a game, and I guess he must have beat her or something. I guess she felt like since she was the streamer, it was her stream, that he wasn't supposed to beat her. And she went off and told people, "Oh, don't go to his page no more. Everybody unfollow him. Blah 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 blah." And I'm sitting in the stream like, is she really doing this to him? You know, a black woman to a black man, of course, which is even double worse. And I'm like, is she really doing this right now? And it's like, I felt bad for him, and a lot of people actually canceled him, or cut him off because of that. And it wasn't fair because at the time I felt like he was a good person. He's still a good person. I'm just not friends with him. But he's a good person. He had decent content. He didn't use a lot of bad language. He was definitely a positive person. And for her to have the platform that she had at that time and to do that to him was very demeaning. And I know that in our culture, a lot of times we say, the black men, we down our black women, which most of us really don't. I can speak for myself. I know I don't. But sometimes, y'all, it's the other way around. If you want to be honest, sometimes we're the ones that are dogged as black men. We're dogs. we're not good fathers, we're this, we're that. And um, but unfortunately, it's. I mean, it is what it is. If it happens, if it's for a legitimate reason, then it is what it is. But like I said, sometimes people are just try to find things or try to find things to quote unquote cancel you out. So I'm not a big fan of it either. I try to stay away from it. You know, it is a trend. I don't follow everybody's trend. I kind of do my own thing or whatever. But I try to get to know people for myself and gauge how they are or their character for myself. You know, I'll listen to what you say. You be careful about this person. They XYZ blah blah blah. But I like to find out things for myself. So, but that's how I feel about it.
All right, Ton.
I mean, like Bridge said in the comments, it's like you're walking on eggshells because you don't know what you may say someone will try to use against you to try to get you canceled. So there's certain topics that I won't touch in my stream, like politics, religion, things like that. I will not discuss it. Right there is going to start arguments, and then somebody's going to try to use that. Oh well, he said this about this, politician or this president, or he said it about this religion, and we should not listen to him or watch his streams. Cancel him. Nah, I'm not doing it. So with this whole cancel culture, man, it's crazy how one thing can turn some of your biggest supporters into your worst enemies. You know, just like what's her name that was on Mandalorian. She spoke out about being a Republican, and immediately everybody went to counsel her. And now look what happened to her. She got counseled. You know, so like I said, there's just some things that I won't even discuss, and I try to stay away from that council culture because it's crazy. It's crazy how somebody will try to bait you into doing something or say something.
Yeah, I think one of the examples that I would have for that question is exactly what you said. The young woman from the Mandalorian. I try not to get into like debates about things of that nature. I try to stay to the surface level. If someone asks me what I think about it, my surface level would be, well, it's Disney's platform. Disney can do pretty much whatever they want. If they didn't want that on their platform, cool. They fired her. Whether or not she was right or wrong in saying it, that's a whole different story that y'all can get into by yourself. However, that's the end result. And I stick to that kind of surface level thing. It's when you try to go deeper into what it is that I think where cancel culture kind of starts to target you. It's you gotta kind of it's like Bridget and Ton said. You walking on eggshells. You gotta know when to like stop. You gotta know where that level is that you can speak about it, but to the point where you're not going too far.
I also feel that it's more than being able to speak, but it's also um being able to in a way stand kind of standing your ground with your opinion, but also being able to like you know discuss your opinion with people who are willing to try to take heed to understand. So it's like also like understanding the surroundings. um like what like Shy-Town was saying, like people feel like their opinion is law, and it's really not. It's really just your opinion. I mean, we can agree to disagree on a lot of things, but the overall respect of like listening to somebody's opinion, you know, about a situation or about a topic, I think is something that gets kind of overlooked. Like I feel that people are just looking for, people are looking for that one thing to say that just doesn't sit right with them, and then they'll be quick to flip it, and then they'll use it as a to manipulate others to say, well, this person feels this way, and that's not even how you were that's not even how you were presenting it.
Yeah. But I've been saying this for the longest time. Like, a lot of people always find it that we live in this country where there's a such thing as freedom of speech. But I've been saying this since, like, I was 13. There's no such thing as freedom of speech in this country. Like, it's sad, and I'm not saying that it's, like, good that we don't have freedom of speech. I'm just saying that it doesn't exist. We live in a country where our perception of freedom of speech is we can say whatever we want, we can speak our opinions, but the truth of the matter is, if you don't have any kind of power, and power is money, if you don't have that money to like pay out your damage that you put out when you speak, you can't say whatever you want because it's too damaging to yourself.
No.
So when people say that we have the freedom of speech, we don't. The rich have the power, the freedom of speech, all they want. They can speak about it. They can talk about it. They can say whatever they want because they have the money to pay that consequence. But everything you say now there is a consequence to it. Can you handle that consequence? That's a whole different story. But I think that's why it's like walking on eggshells, because we're thinking like this is what we want to do. But if we say the wrong things, this is the consequence we have to face. And sometimes that consequence kills our dreams, our careers, and everything else, even though we should be allowed to say what we want to say.
And I just want to say, I mean, I feel like, it's, in some cases, it's kind of unfair because the thing about it is that, like how I said, you just want to, you want to voice your opinion. But then somebody wants to look at, like when you say something that someone just doesn't agree with, they want to look at you the wrong way, and they just want to think, well, okay, this is how you think, and it doesn't, and they just want to put you in that box where they just assume that how you think is how you're going to just perceive it, and that's that, without even giving you the benefit of even assuming themselves, because they're assuming that you're going to think this way and you're going to just be firm with this decision of your own opinion, but not even give you the time of day to even say, well, maybe I can voice my opinion, and he or she can probably understand it, to give that person a different outlook of that situation.
Yeah. And I'll tell y'all this fact right straight up about me. From the age of about 10 to about 19, I legitimately thought I spoke a different language than everyone else. Because I would say something, and they would get mad, and I would wonder, why are you getting mad? And I would say something very simple, something general. And they would get mad. And for the longest time, I was wondering, why would you get mad about that? Like, I'm just saying no. And they would come out with a whole different, I would say what I say, and then they would repeat back what I said, but they would add like 20 different things to it that I didn't say.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to think like, maybe I'm speaking a different language and I'm not really saying what I'm thinking. And maybe I'm just adding stuff to it, but no, everyone has a different interpretation of different things. It's weird and it shouldn't happen. We should be very literal about things that we hear, but for some reason we as human beings, we don't grasp the concept that one person can have a specific thought about an opinion, and there can be 20,000 different opinions about the same thing, but they could all be positive in that situation. For some reason, we think if you don't go for our opinion, then you're for the wrong opinion. You're from the bad side, and we only look at good side and bad sides. We never look at the middle area.
I've said this to a few people before. Communication is the key, but comprehension is like, is just as important. It's always something about, being able to, you can value somebody's opinion when when you learn more about why they think that way, and not just only them voicing the opinion. Voicing and understanding the opinion will make things so much easier, in this world, and it makes the dialogue, that much more, open for further understanding and belief.
Yeah. It's weird, but I mean, that's a good question though. That's a good question to ask. Mr. Troy had a really good question as well in the chat. He said, "What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?"
Ooh.
Psh, Jesus, I can think of a whole bunch.
Oh God.
Wow.
Now, is he meaning like in general or gaming wise?
I think he means in general.
I would tell my 18-year-old self, there is beauty in taking L's, in taking losses. Everything is not gonna go the way that you want to. You're not gonna win every single time, and appreciate the failures, because failure is essential for success. Don't dwell on them. Take what you need, take what didn't work, always get back, to the drawing board, and always bet on yourself. Do everything you can to eliminate doubt, because doubt is always going to try to deter you from your greatness. And and I will also say, continue to step out on faith, take your chances, because God won't ever leave you. He won't ever leave you astray.
Facts.
I definitely agree with that. Definitely want to piggyback off that. Um, so some of those same things I would say to myself, but one key thing that I would definitely say is to trust, not only trust God, but trust your instincts. A lot of things that have happened to me in my life are because I felt a certain kind of way towards certain things, situations, and people. But instead of following what I felt, I listened to what other people would say. Maybe you should do this, you should do that, and it ended up going the wrong way. And I'm like, man, if I would have just listened to what I already felt, listened to my heart, or follow the feeling that I already had, it would have been like this instead of like that. A lot of situations that I'm currently in, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't be in if I would have listened to myself, listened to my thoughts, and listened to my heart back then. You know, like Push just said, God won't lead you astray. Trust Him and trust your instincts, because a lot of times we don't listen to ourselves. We listen to, we listen and we value other people's thoughts and opinions more than our own. But can't nobody love us like we love ourselves besides God. You have to love yourself before you can love other people. So you have to, I had to learn, what should I say? I would have told myself, trust yourself, trust your instincts. You know what you want to do, you know how you want things to go. And yes, everything is not going to go the way that you want it to go. But if you would have just followed your own heart, and followed your own thought process, things would be better off. So that's one thing that I would definitely would have told my 18-year-old self.
Okay. How about you, Ty?
I would have told my 18-year-old self, trust in yourself. Whatever you're going to do, you do it 100%. Keep your faith in God. Continue to be you and not what people want you to be, who people want you to be.
I feel you on that one.
Before we go to the next question, can I piggyback off that real quick?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just triggered something in me in a good way. When you saying like, you know, whatever you do it 100%. That's one of the things that I promised my mother before she passed. Like I know some of y'all are late getting into the stream or whatever. We at the beginning of the stream we started talking about, you know, our mothers and what our mothers meant to us. You know, because we've all, myself, Push, and Ton, we've all lost our mothers. I lost mine about 4 months ago, recently. And one of the last things that I told my mother, I told her that whatever I did from this moment on, I was going to give my all and give my 100% to it. Because she told me, well, you know, son, I'm proud of you. You know, you've been a great father, great son, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And she said that you did as best as you could to help to take care of me. But now I need you to take care of yourself. And she meant that in every aspect. So when you said that 100%, that kind of triggers something in me, because that's another thing that I would have told my 18-year-old self. Whatever you do, put your all into it. Don't do nothing. Don't worry about, you know, what people have to say if they don't like what you're doing. As long as you know what you're doing is the right thing, and as long as your heart is into it, then just go for it and, you know, go all out. So yeah, I would have said that as well. But I appreciate you saying that, bro, because that made me remember that about my mother too.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely very vital.
Okay. Let me see. We have another question sent by email. Another one from Super Fluffy Sippers. Can you talk about gaming as a legitimate career for black men and discuss the efforts versus risks versus rewards as a principle? And once again, the question is, can you talk about gaming as a legitimate career for black men and discuss the efforts versus risks versus rewards as a principle?
I do think as black men, you can make it a career, but I feel that we have to work 2, 3, 4 times harder than anybody else. You know, but also the ones that rise very quickly is because of they're either doing one or two things. Either they're being over the top to try to be funny, or they're being over the top being toxic. Because that's what people are wanting. They want us to be that. They want to see us doing crazy stuff, or they want to hear us cussing out somebody in the lobby. You know, and I've seen that so many times with people that they get big because of that.
Okay.
I mean, I feel there's always a ton of, you know, it's always a ton of risk when, you know, with anything that you set forth to. When it comes to gaming, I feel that you know, the biggest rewards is one doing something that you're really passionate about. Just like how like Ton said, I think, you know, we definitely have to work, you know, 2, 3, you know, 4 times as hard, you know, as you know, as our other like male counterparts to succeed. I I just think it's in the sense of there's so many different outlets in the industry that we can, that we could like lay a foundation and make a real big impact like into. Everything doesn't always have to be focused on, the gaming aspect. I recall seeing a tweet from someone and they said, you don't have to be good at the game to be in esports. And I figured that to be, very true, because like me, I'm a casual, I would say I'm a casual gamer. I'm real, I can get real passionate about like certain games. I can get competitive. But I know and I understand that I probably would never be like, a competitive esports player. But there's so many other positions and so many other like opportunities within esports that I can thrive and succeed and evolve and elevate in. And and that could be, like I said, in terms of community management, in terms of marketing, in terms of like development. The risks are always going to be there. The risk of like not winning, or things not working in your favor, and also not being heard. But the rewards of doing something that you're passionate about and having the opportunity to leave a mark, as a black man in the gaming community and industry, it's pretty rewarding as well.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Yeah. I'll definitely say, like like Ton said and Push said, the risk is always going to be high. You're definitely going to have to work, 10 times harder. But also, what's most important is having a great support system around you, because with every successful person in gaming, I'm sure they have a group of people around them that supports them, whether it be their community, or it could be like a key core of people, like a stream team, or just people that you can trust. Um, because you have to have people around that's gonna have your back when you're up, when you're down, people that can put you in your place when you get out of order, and people that can help to guide you along, and the people that can support you when you're not feeling the best. Um, just having a good support system. I mean, because just getting on and streaming, whether you're doing, playing video games, or just chatting, or in real life stuff, or music stuff, or whatever it is that you're doing, you got to have that core people, have that core team or core people around you that want you to succeed just as much as you, and they don't mind, helping you along it, whatever it is. You definitely got to have the right people with the same mindset, positive mindset, around you, and you definitely want to have people with the same work ethic. You got to put in the work, and you have to have the people that want to put in the work alongside you. Because some people try to say, "Well, I did it myself," but no, you had people to help you along the way, and you need to acknowledge that, and you need to make sure that your core people around you, like I said, has the same mindset. That's very important, having a great support system. And hopefully one day I'll get to that. I get to a point where I have, some people around me, a lot of people around me that want to see me where I see myself. You see what I'm saying? I put in the work to do it, but you still need that support system to help carry you along the way too.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Um, it's always good it's always great to have people that, um, you know, people that believe in, in the success that you envision, and
Right.
and people that can also, you know, people that want to provide you with like the insight, that you might be overlooking. Because as how Multi said, people are really quick to say that they achieved a lot of things, but it's I know that like I could not, I can't take all the claim for the success that I've obtained in my content creation career. I've definitely reached out to people, and people have provided me like just gems and ways to provide better quality like content, and ways to distribute my content, and and just ideas, ideas and other like risk to take, because they showed me the benefits of it along with the disadvantages of it. So they gave me a clear-cut understanding of, hey, you should, maybe you should try this out, because this could probably work in your favor. And if it doesn't, at least we know that it didn't work. So definitely having people that believe in your vision, support your vision, and and find ways to ensure that you're growing, it's very important.
Okay. I agree with each and every one of you said. The effort that you put into creating a career in the gaming industry as a black man is definitely, more so than our male counterparts. The risks are always time and money, and most importantly, mental. I think I always look at streaming and content creating as a spectrum. You have, when you're first starting off, you have your middle point, and then you have when you're actually successful. You doing it full time and money is coming in. This is when you see the streamers come in with the nice cars and the big houses, and it's just easy for them. When they're saying, I'm making about, 20 grand a month doing this, that, and the third. And that's the point where you want to get to, because you want to be able to provide for your family and, do all the nice things that you want to. That middle section, though, is a beast when it comes to mental health. It has the potential to kind of tear you down. It has the potential to make you question yourself, make you question what you love, make you question, are you good enough? The things that you have to go through in order to make everything better, and to fight for just getting to that point that you should be at. That part is a mental beast. So that's always like the biggest risk, at least for me, is the biggest risk. But that rewards the rewards are major, even though they might seem small to some. I always tell people I'm grateful for everybody that ever hits that follow button, because when I see someone hit that follow button, that reward of knowing that something I'm doing you like, and if I'm doing something that you like and it's making you happy, that's the reward for me. And just knowing that I was able to do that for somebody makes it worth it. And every time I see it, it gets better and better and better. So sometimes the reward is not always the success. Sometimes it's just knowing that someone appreciates the content that you put out there. It doesn't have to necessarily be bits or monetary things. It could be simply saying, hey, yo, I watched your stream, yo. It was fun as hell. And just saying that to somebody, you don't know, might have just made their day.
Yep. Agreed.
So, it's those kind of rewards that I think a lot of people take for granted sometimes, but also we as black men, we love that. We don't speak too much on the money. We don't speak too much on being on front page or anything like that. I mean, we appreciate it, and that's something we work towards. But sometimes just the simple, your stream was hilarious, and I had a really good time. It's just enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say any black man who is interested in it, trust me, the reward is beautiful. But just know the effort is
Tedious.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not ready to do that work, this probably ain't the thing that you want to do. But Bridge did come in with another question. What is one thing you wish someone told you before getting into the streaming and gaming life?
Wow. That's a good question.
It was going to cost this goddamn much money.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, it's a big investment, baby. Yes, that is so true.
Right.
Yeah.
Have a
Right.
budget. Baby. Have a budget. Because the computer gonna cost this much. The system gonna cost this much. If your Wi-Fi sucks, you gotta upgrade it. It's gonna cost this much. You gotta get a quality microphone and camera. It's gonna cost this much. You gotta get lighting. It's gonna cost this much. You want sound effects and all this other stuff. It might cost this much. So you gotta get an interface. You got it's so many expenses to even just being a professional streamer, podcaster, whatever it is that you're trying to be. And it's you have to be willing to invest in yourself. So and one thing that I would say that I wish somebody would have told me the price tag, because I had to buy a new table, and I had to buy a gaming computer, I had to buy a microphone, I had to buy cables, I had to buy a green screen, I had to buy lighting, I had to buy just so many other things that you have to do, and not only just monetary, just the time, editing videos, learning how to do using editing programs and things of that nature. And I'm making music, making intro music for myself, and just now there's other people that are interested in musical intros or just music for the streams, and just it's all time consuming. So and you have to be willing to invest monetarily, time, and then just your mental capacity. You have to be ready to move. So I wish somebody would have told me how much it costs, but I don't mind paying it. It's cool.
I just want to say, I give a lot of appreciation and love to editors, because I hate editing with a passion. So whenever I can speak to people who enjoy editing and people who are willing to like edit content, they are worth they are worth every dollar. They are worth every dollar that they ask for. Um, and I will say basically, don't worry about the numbers. We all a lot of us get into this into the content creation always worrying about how many people are like the numbers and how big we're trying to get, and even when numbers aren't your biggest focus, it's always something that you still have in the back of your mind. So I really wish that somebody would have told me like, yo, like don't worry about your numbers, and always remember to keep having fun, because we can get so lost in the numbers so much, and like so lost in the in the accolades, because yes, while numbers are important, I feel that the character and the character of the person providing the content is much more important. And I feel like that that what you bring out in your content is a major is a major part of what brings forth a lot of the opportunities.
Yeah. I think
You know?
I remember when I first started watching Twitch years and years ago. I remember seeing this one streamer. And I saw the computer in the background. I was like, "Oh, that's a nice computer!" Like, and I think it was my first time seeing like custom computers. And mind you, I'm from like a family background where my mother's a doctor. My dad is, he's maintenance, but he's higher maintenance. And so my family was always like that middle class level. And I remember my mom buying the very first computer that we ever had in our house. And it was like $500. And at the time, $500 was like a lot of money. And every time she got a computer, I was like, oh, we well off. All right, cool. And we thought it was the best thing in the world. Until about a couple years ago when I was watching a streamer and I saw that and I was like, oh, maybe I can get me one. And then she told me how much the computer actually cost. And she said it was $8,000. And I just looked at it, was like, wait, what?
What?
$8,000?
No.
For what? Like, for what?
What's going on here?
And she was like, yeah, it's a dual computer. And I had never heard of what a dual computer was. And she was like, it just means it's two computers in one. And I didn't even know you could do that. And she's like, it's standard for streamers. And I just remember sitting there like, so I'm going to have to pay for $8,000 at some point in time in this career path that I'm choosing. And now that I'm older, I kind of figured out, like, I can get away with a nice little $1,200 computer. And, I mean, there's always corners that you can cut. For instance, instead of paying people to do your overlays, you can learn how to make them yourself. Instead of paying someone to do, your emotes and doing t-shirts, there are programs that'll help you out with it, depending on what kind of quality you would like. But at the end of the day, it's still a lot of money and a lot of time.
Yeah, and while very true that it's an investment, I've definitely realized that you don't need the most expensive stuff to be to be a streamer or a content creator, like, because regardless of how much you spend on equipment, like, if the quality is, if the quality of the content isn't there, like, it really doesn't matter. I mean, there's people who have, 500 to like under like sub $1,000 setups, and they're getting out like A1 quality content. So you don't have to break the bank, also, while also understanding it's an investment, but you don't have to break the bank to provide great content.
Yeah. So, I mean, it all depends. But I don't see any more questions in the chat. So then let's go to this last question for today. What is one thing you would take away from this panel?
The one thing I will take away from this panel is that it's good to know that there are other Black men that are willing to provide their support and their empathy and their time and their effort to ensure growth amongst each other. The amount of similarities that we have, even in the short time of knowing each other, speaks volumes, because we always walk down that road thinking that nobody will really understand our situation, when in actuality probably a whole bunch of other Black men that are going through the same thing, and we just haven't connected yet. So just being able to embrace, share and receive knowledge from other like-minded black men in the industry um is something that I'm really thankful for, and I'm going to be taking that with me as I depart.
Okay. How about you, Ton?
I mean, pretty much what Push just said. You know, there's others that have similar situations that are grinding just as I am, and there to support and show love. Um, just be there for each other if needed. You know.
Okay. Motif?
I definitely agree with what Push and Ton just said. Excuse me. If I could take away anything from this is that we all are going down different paths, but it's there's a lot of similarity in the paths that we're all traveling down. Um, and that I think that we definitely need to support each other as black men and black gamers, content creators, and I think that we actually need to follow through with that. Um, I think that we need to continue to uh, build ourselves as we build each other, and I'm always open to want to learn more about different things as well as give insight if needed. uh, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself today. It went much better than what I expected. Honestly, I mean, I was expecting it to be pretty good, but this is like phenomenal. Um, just to be a part of something like this, to share platform with you gentlemen, it's been definitely a pleasure, and I think we need to do this again. I don't know what we would talk about, or maybe we can do like an updated form or something. But I think we definitely need to do this again in the future.
Okay.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, we definitely will. For those that don't know, Ace Tech was also supposed to be with us. Unfortunately, he had some stuff he had to handle. Um, so he's also with us in this panel, and I think the five of us definitely need to get together again to do this and do an update and then dig a little bit deeper. And I think this is very healthy for everyone, not just in the gaming community, but just in general. I think this is a discussion that is good for everyone. And like I said, anytime any of you need someone to talk to, feel free to hit me up at any time. I'm always here. My doors is always open. My phone is always on. I enjoyed this really much. Like Motif said, this came out a whole lot better than I thought it would. So, and I was sitting there last night thinking about this, and I don't know. I kind of felt bad. I felt like I should have been doing more. I felt like I wasn't really prepared, and I was like scared. And then this morning I woke up, and I just figured this was the discussion that we need to have. So no matter what my fears was, this was going to be good either way. And it came out a whole lot better than I really thought it would be. So we definitely got to do this again. All right.
Yeah,
Let me know. I'm with.
I'm with it.
same.
Good.
And
Good.
I just want to thank you for you know providing the platform and the space for us to have this panel. Um, and major kudos to you for making this happen. Um, because yourself and the whole Real Ones Gaming team has done amazing work on highlighting creators of color, and it um definitely is appreciated and valued.
Well, I thank you. I thank all of you for coming today. I definitely think, even though we're gonna do this again, I definitely think the five of us definitely need to start hanging out a little bit more, playing games together, chilling, even if it's just discussion. So we're definitely going to start hanging out a little bit more. But let's go ahead and start closing things out. And Motif with the bits. Let's go ahead and close things out. Make sure that you let them know where they can find all of your information, and so they can follow you gentlemen as well. Let's start with BigTon.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, all under BigTon423. Very easy to find. And I do appreciate you allowing me to be on this. This is my first podcast ever, so thank you for that. But even more so that this was the topic, gaming community. That's major, man. Appreciate it.
Problem, man. All right. Push.
Yeah, you could find me on Twitch, Twitter, IG, TikTok, all under the same name, Pushplay the DJ, THD. And once again, like I said, thank you for having me on this panel. And like I said, I'm always looking forward to connecting and uplifting and empowering each other. So thank you once again.
Okay. And Tifu, according to Bridge, you were supposed to sing the Black National Anthem. I knew nothing about this, but if you would like to, the floor is yours.
No, not this one. Maybe the next one. But yeah, you can also find me on all social platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook. Zen. I'm even on Zen too. Motifdamasta. Just like you see it. I definitely appreciate being a part of the panel as well. For those of you who do follow, if you are fellow content creators, I'll definitely make sure that I follow you back to give you that support as well. Had an amazing time, and thank you for allowing me to be on this platform with you, gentlemen. And I look forward to the next time.
All right. And I have been your grateful producer and host, Greensp. You can find me on all social medias, Greensp. But if you just want to find it on an easier level, you can go to flow.page/Greensp. And you'll have all my links right there, all together. Yeah, we're going to do this pretty soon. We do a Real Ones Gaming podcast every Sunday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, which is live as well. And this will be up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube tomorrow, actually. So thank you guys so much. And we will catch you guys later. Y'all have a great and amazing day. And stay blessed, everybody.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Too, bro. Thanks.